Dustin Poirier can't wait to come out of his semi-retirement. The former interim champion says that he now wants to compete in the octagon as soon as possible. Talks about a possible UFC event in Louisiana have been going on for a while now, and nobody was more excited about this than Dustin, as for the first time in his career, he would be presented with an opportunity to fight in front of a home crowd. While this might have been one of the reasons for the Diamond's reignited interest in active competition, he has been hinting at a comeback in different interviews for a couple of weeks now. And in his last one of these appearances, he made it clear that his intention is to return to the cage in the near future. Dustin lists names of potential opponents who might welcome him back, and states that he's been actively asking the UFC for specific opponents. And the only reason why he hasn't yet fought is the simple fact of conflicting schedules.
I don't want to wait a year. I don't know when the exact date of Louisiana, if it comes together, when that would be. But that's my goal. You know, if we can do it sooner, it would be uno más.
Yeah, that would be the perfect scenario, right? One last one in Louisiana and you say goodbye. The question is, because it's not happening.
The waiting. I don't want to be on the shelf. Yeah, I don't want to be on the shelf for that long, because also I'm not asking, and nowadays everybody in the UFC is dangerous. I'm not asking for like a favorable fight. I want the hardest guys I can get. You know, I was asking for Gaethje, asking for Hooker, you know, so I want hard fights. I'm not trying to not get beat up. I want to fight. It's just the availability and the time frame. We'll see. I'm healed up, man. I did therapy, a bunch of therapy sessions on my knee. My ribs healed up on their own. It took a while. My nose, I can't breathe, but everything else is good.
Max Holloway previews his upcoming title fight against Ilia Tapua and doesn't hold back his opinion on the featherweight champion. Very soon, Holloway will try to reclaim his belt at 145 pounds, something that would not only be one of the greatest championship comeback stories in the company's history, but also make him a sort of a double champion, as he is the current undisputed BMF champ as well. After losing to Alexander Volkanovski in their last fight, the specific manner of the conclusion of that trilogy naturally didn't leave many fans. The impression that Max would go on to recapture his title or fight Volk again, let alone go up a division, and finish one of the most dangerous fighters in it. After an underwhelming performance against Alex in their third fight, the Hawaiian beat Arnold Allen. Then he finished the Korean Zombie, and in his last octagon appearance, outclassed and knocked out Justin Gaethje. It seems that Max is operating at a higher level. His loss to Alex pushed him to go on a mission to get his belt back. Before he tries to take the title away from Ilia Tapua, Max shared thoughts on the matchup.
Do you think he believes what he's saying, or is he trying to sort of build himself up so he gets that confidence?
I think, I don't know, bro. His mind is very interesting. I couldn't answer that question for you, to be honest, bro. But if that's what it takes to be the best version of himself come Saturday night, then so be it. You know, he can talk all that talk he wants, because at the end of the day, he still got to see me in 3 days.
Out of all the things he said, is the whole I'm going to point at the floor in the first 10 seconds thing the one that kind of makes you roll your eyes the hardest?
Yeah, because it just makes no sense, you know. At the end of the day, to me, I don't think he deserves. You got to earn that right. I don't think he deserved that right. He could have earned it with Josh Emmett in their 5-round roar. Josh Emmett was trying to swing. If you guys can go back to that fight and watch what happened, when Josh Emmett was trying to swing, someone shot and someone hold someone down for the rest of the fight. So I think the moment needs to be earned, and he's just trying to steal stuff, you know?
Robert Whittaker shares thoughts on his clash with Khamzat Chimaev. The Reaper's highly anticipated fight against the Chechen prospect holds high stakes for both parties, with the winner likely contesting for the division belt next, and the loser getting put on an entirely different trajectory. The Chechen prospect is still a kind of an enigma in the sport, with the ceiling of his potential still being under question. And additionally, his health problems and relative inactivity, compared to his initial rise, leaves many concerns for his fans. Rob Whittaker is one of the most highly skilled fighters on the roster. He's the former middleweight champion who's only lost to Adesanya and Duplessis at middleweight. The Aussie is coming off a spectacular performance against Ikram Aliskerov and is one of the most effective defensive grapplers in his division. On the pre-fight press conference, Robert spoke about the bout with Chimaev, sharing his intentions for the clash.
He's not on my mind very much. I am expecting him to come out hard and aggressive from the first second to the last, okay? And I have prepared accordingly for that. I've prepared for the hardest fight of my life, to start extremely hard, like sprinting for the first 5 to 10 minutes, but also drag it out to 5 minutes. I'm ready to sprint for 25 minutes if so. And I come here for war.
Your coach in the countdown said, I think his phrase was, Khamzat's looking for Rob's leg, Rob's looking for his chin. Has that been kind of, I know you don't think about him specifically, but has that been kind of the mindset as like a team?
I look to go into this fight hunting him, much like I planned to last fight. I look to do again this fight.
Dana White has had enough of Conor McGregor's antics. Fans and the community have been used to the Irishman's spontaneous live streams or tweets, which contain various degrees of incoherency for quite some time now. What is new is Conor's direct criticism of the UFC and its structure. As a partial owner of BKFC, McGregor has been trying out the promoter role. It seems he has come to the conclusion that his UFC days are numbered as a high-level competitor, so possibly the impulse to say something that might start burning bridges doesn't need to be controlled as much. In one of his latest tweets, directed at a grappling heavy fight, which he later deleted, McGregor essentially criticized UFC for allowing grappling. Quote, act like yous aren't fed up and over this bullshit all yous want, but I won't. It's just become the norm nowadays. The product is suffering because of it. If it wasn't for the brand name already well established, it would be well in the bin now. It is in the bin in the mainstream. That's a fact. There is no mainstream casual audience here. It needs calling out. A full review. MMA is better than what it has become recently, in my opinion. Unquote. Dana White didn't love these comments, and when he was asked about Conor's criticism of the company, he suggested that Conor should just announce that he will never fight again and it's all over.
My people grabbed me and showed it to me on social media. Retire, don't worry about it. You do your thing, man. And it's all good.
He shouldn't be fighting. But, he's a grown-ass man. He can do whatever he wants to do.
Conor McGregor's not going to need any money anytime soon.
Khamzat Chimaev comments on the Robert Whittaker fight and talks about the implications. Chimaev's return to the octagon is highly anticipated by many fans, and on UFC 308, we get to see how 1 year of inactivity, in addition to health problems during that period, affects his shape, fight readiness, and ultimately, performance. Getting the Robert Whittaker fight offers an opportunity to secure a title shot, and Khamzat is determined to make that happen. He has some reservations, though, and made it known that he remembers being promised a title shot with a win over Burns.
Anyone on the top could be a hard fight, but somebody could be an easy fight. We will see. Maybe it's easy fight, maybe it's hard fight for me, so we don't know.
They say that it's going to be Dricus versus Sean Strickland for the title next, but if you go out there and you finish Robert Whittaker in 1 or 2 rounds, do you think that the UFC will have to say, okay, no, it's Khamzat next?
I hope so, but they said that before as well. When I beat the Khabib Nurmagomedov, how long time was some 2-3 years ago, man. I didn't fight my chance. After that, Usman, if he beats Usman, I'm gonna fight for the title. Didn't fight that, so we'll see. But I'm happy with the money. I'm making more money and any champ as well, man.